Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Max. I run an SNMA, a super niche marketing agency, and on this channel we explore how to start, run and grow a successful marketing agency that generates great results for our clients, but also helps us as the entrepreneur to achieve financial time and location freedom. So if that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing and following along the journey. In today's video, I want to talk about how you can get your first paid advertising client without utilizing any type of paid ads for yourself. So I'm going to talk about the niche offer service formula, how to promote yourself, utilizing organic cold outreach, and then finally how to actually close your prospects into new clients utilizing the two-call sales process. So without further ado, let's dive into point number one and let's talk about the niche offer service formula. So when you're trying to get your first paid advertising client, you really need to solve the basics first, and I like to talk about the niche offer service formula. So first of all, we have the niche. That is actually who you're going to sell to. So you need to do a specific niche. You don't want to sell everything to everybody, but you want to sell to a specific niche. So in my case, in my agency, we're only selling to home service businesses, and right now we're actually only selling Facebook ads to roofers. So we have a specific niche that we're selling to. That's super important to solve. It's going to make the marketing, the sales, the communication, everything is going to be so much easier when you just go for one niche instead of trying to sell to everybody essentially. The next thing is the offer. So once you've decided upon a specific niche, now you need to start to talk with that specific niche. So try to reach out to them, try to jump on some calls with them, start to talk with them and just ask simple questions like, what problems are you facing on a daily basis? What are you trying to achieve in your business? What are your desires? What are your pain points? What is the most painful problem that you're trying to solve in your business right now? So basically just identify a niche, start to talk with them, and as an entrepreneur, you're kind of like a detective and you're just trying to talk with the market and kind of see what are their desires, what problems are they trying to solve right now, where do they want to go, and what type of problems do they have right now that they actually are willing to pay for. And from that information, you can craft an offer. And it's pretty much impossible to craft an offer just out of the blue and just standing in the shower thinking and singing and thinking that you're gonna just create an offer from the ether or just come up with your own offer. That's not how it works. But the offer needs to come from the market itself. So for example, in my case, when you run Facebook ads for roofers, the way I figured out how to create that offer was that I simply just talked with roofers and asked them, okay, what type of problems do you guys have? Yeah, we want to get more leads, we want to get more appointments, we want to get more clients. Oh, okay, so how are you currently getting those leads and clients? Well, we were doing offline marketing like door knocking, TV and radio commercials. It's super expensive, we can't scale it, our door knocking people don't like to door knock, and we're doing some lead generation websites like Home Advisor, Angie. It's not good at all. We get duplicate leads, they're shared among a ton of different other contractors and they're super expensive. We can't do any branding, and most of the agencies that we hired think they can generate any results from us. So from that information, I basically understood that problem. I also understood their desires, what they wanted to do. They wanted more appointments and leads and clients, and kind of from that information, I could craft a really powerful offer. And I can also utilize this offer in my communication, in my ads and everything. In all of my promotions that I utilize to promote myself, I can now say, hey, are you a roofer? Are you tired of offline marketing, door knocking, and those lead generation websites that generate you duplicate and expensive leads? And that's not something that I came up with myself, but I actually talked with the market and they gave me all of that information. And that's how you create a super powerful offer, by simply just talking with your niche and your market. And this goes back to the niche and market as well, because if you're trying to sell everybody to everything, it's going to be pretty much impossible for you to create a super powerful offer. So that's why it's very important to have one niche that you're trying to sell to. And then the final thing is the service, right? So once you have a niche, you've figured out your offer, now you can craft a service around that. And now you really need to find a proof of concept for that service as well. So you try to sell that service via your offer to your niche, you figure out what works. And that's like kind of the ground base that you need before you can even start to promote and sell anything. You need to have a niche, you need to have an offer, and you need to have a service that can help your niche to get to their desired outcome essentially. So once you have that in place, it takes us to point number two, which is to promote yourself via cold outreach. So there are a ton of different ways that you can start to promote yourself via cold outreach out there. You can do cold calling, you can send cold emails, you can utilize the power of social media. So you can utilize LinkedIn, for example, or Facebook, like join Facebook groups, identify people in your niche and start to message them, or utilize Instagram and start to message them via Instagram. And LinkedIn, as said, is a great tool. There's a thing on LinkedIn called the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So you can actually search for different people and different titles titles within different industries. So for example, you can identify a business owner for a specific business, send a friend request, and then start chatting with them and kind of start the sales process from there. But when you do cold outreach, I recommend to only go for one specific channel. And also it's super duper important to solve step number one before you start to promote yourself. So if you don't have a niche, if you don't have a powerful offer, and if you don't have a good service that's gonna solve that problem for your niche, you're just gonna waste your time to do organic outreach, because nobody's going to want to listen to you because you don't understand what they want and what problems they want to solve and so forth. But if you're watching this video and you've solved the niche offer service formula and you want to start some cold outreach, I would recommend to just go for one channel. And what channel you should choose really depends upon your niche and your market. In my case, for example, I'm selling to residential roofers. They're not spending that much time on Instagram and Facebook and social media and on LinkedIn, but they do check their email inbox a lot. So in my case, I used a lot of cold outreach and a lot of cold email when I started. We still do that because it's such a powerful avenue to actually get in contact with business owners who are actually looking for our services. But in your niche, it might be different. Maybe Instagram is the perfect avenue for your specific niche, or maybe Facebook, or maybe LinkedIn is the best one for you. So you really need to identify the best platform for your specific business and your offer and services and so forth. But then it really just comes down to building out a plan, building out some consistency over time as well, not doing like a sprint, sending a ton of emails in one day and then hoping that the world is going to come to you and give you a ton of money. But you really have to just create a plan over the long term. Maybe you reach out to 20 people every single day via Instagram, or you're sending 30 cold emails every single day, or you're joining 2 new Facebook groups every single day, and you spend 1 hour trying to connect with people. And you can easily start to get your first or second client within 2 weeks if you just sit down Monday through Friday, send a bunch of emails, or join Facebook groups, or start to message people on Instagram. You can easily get your first 1 or 2 clients within the first week or within the first 2 weeks if you solve the basics first, meaning you have a niche, you have an offer, and you have a service or solution for that niche. Solving the basics first, that's really what you need to identify and solve first. And then when you start to promote yourself, if you have a really good offer that your market really wants and there's not too much competition out there doing the same thing as you, you're easily gonna get your first client by you doing, for example, cold email within the first week. The third thing that I want to talk about in this video today when you want to get your first marketing client is to actually sell. Meaning, how do you actually sell your first client? It can be hard, it can be tough. And in the beginning, I remember that I was very, very nervous about doing sales. But there's actually a quite simple process that you can do when it comes to sales. And sales is complex. You can learn so much about sales, how you should do it. And over time, you increase your confidence when you get to first sale and you get more comfortable talking to people and so forth. But really, the process that I recommend at the beginning that's really, really simple to use is a 2-call sales process. And basically what I mean by that is, let's say you reach out with a cold email to your niche, they reply that they're interested, that they want to talk some more. You basically just call them up. Normally they have their phone number in their email signature, let's say, or you email them and ask them when you can call them. Just pick up your phone, you call them and you say, "Hi, Mrs. Business Owner, this is Max that emailed you regarding this specific offer and you said that you were interested. Is now a good time to talk?" And they're gonna be like, "Yeah, sure, let's go." And normally what I do on that first call is that you're not trying to sell them on that first call, but you do a call for like 10 to 15 minutes. And first of all, you just want to build some rapport. Just talk with them, you show them that you're actually a real human being, you're not super salesy, you're not super pushy. And what's really good to do on that first call as well is just to set the agenda. Just tell them what it is that you want to do on that first call. Normally what I did when I started out was that I said on that specific first call was like, "Okay, perfect. Well, we can just dig into this call super quickly if that's okay with you." After I'd done the cold talk, and they're like, "Yeah, sure." And then I said, "Okay, so normally on these calls, I just want to start to ask you a couple of simple questions. I just want to figure out kind of what it is that you're looking for, what type of business that you're currently running. And then once I know that, we can just schedule the second call. I'm going to prepare a specific presentation for you and show you exactly what type of results we've generated for our clients in the past, how we have a solution for what type of problems our clients normally have, and then show you exactly how our solution works, how we actually help our clients to get results. And then on that second call, we can talk some about pricing and our offer and so forth as well." So basically on that initial call, you just want to gather some data. You just want to figure out who they are, what type of business they run, what type of problems they have, what desires they have, what is it that they actually are trying to achieve, what have they tried in the past, etc., etc. And you can utilize a selling technique called SPIN when you do this call. It stands for situation questions, problem questions, implication questions, and need payoff questions. And if you want to learn more about those question techniques, I have more videos about that essentially. That's basically what you do on the first call. So if you identify if this specific person that you're talking to, that they're actually a good fit for your offer, then you just suggest that you jump on a second call, that you schedule a second call, maybe a couple of days into the future, and you set aside like 45 to 60 minutes, and that's when you do your presentation and actually show them what you guys do, and you can try to sell them on that call. So that's why I call it a two-step sales process, because in the first step, you just gather some data, you just talk with them, figure out that they're actually a good match for your service, and then on the second call, you prepare like a presentation for them and show them everything they need to know essentially to be able to become a buyer. So to summarize this video, that's basically everything you need to do when you want to get your first client. First of all, figure out the niche offer service formula, super duper important. The second thing is to start to promote yourself, and if you don't want to do ads initially, which I don't recommend, I recommend that you do some type of organic cold outreach to get your proof of concept, to get your first client, to kind of figure out that what you want to do actually works. And then after that, you can do paid ads. And then the final thing we talked about is the two-step sales process. You basically figure out the basics, start to promote yourself via cold email, let's say, and then when you get a response, you jump on an initial call, you talk with them, and if it sounds like that they are actually a good fit for what you want to sell, you schedule a second call, and that's where you do like a presentation or a pitch deck and go over everything that you guys do and try to sell them. So that's basically a very professional way to get your first advertising clients coming in, and get your 3 to 5 first clients doing this process easily, and then you get some cash flow coming in, and that's when you can start to ramp it up with paid ads. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below as well if you have any questions regarding this. I would love to interact with you guys. And yeah, if you want to learn more about this type of content, you can check out this video, and I hope to see you in that one.